So, today we're going to talk about compound sentences and how to diagram them. So, your most basic compound sentences are already on the board here. In our first example, we have a compound subject. The rain and wind increased. So, you only have one verb, but you have two nouns in your subject. Alright, how do you diagram that? Well, this is when we introduce brackets to diagramming sentences. Rain and wind being the two nouns, again, all nouns are on horizontal lines. So in order to make sure they are both on horizontal lines and to indicate that they are in fact a compound subject, we need the bracket. In between, you put the little dotted line and then indicate which word, in this case, the simple conjunction, which conjunction is connecting these two together, the word and. The determiner that is here is the word the rain. So you need to put the under rain. This would also be true if you had some kind of adjective. The heavy rain and wind. Well, in that case, you would add the word heavy under here too. It would actually be after the. The organization as far as which words come first matters. But I'm just showing you really quickly there what you would do if you had an adjective. Again, goes with the word closest to it. Please do note where capitals are. It's capital T, the. Do not capitalize rain, the R in rain, because the actual capitalized letter is the T in the. Don't forget your capital. The little bar is the same one that it always is, saying this is the subject, and then this is the predicate, and then the word increased. Alright. Second, we have a case of a compound predicate. In other words, you have two verbs now. The children jumped and ran. Alright, all we have is a compound predicate. I would like to point out at this juncture a little thing about commas. Your textbook explains that anything that's on the main horizontal line, if it goes on the main horizontal line in a diagram, it does not get commas. Therefore, it would be wrong to say, the children jumped, comma, and ran. This is a misplaced comma. You do not need a comma between jumped and ran. This is one of the most common mistakes in the entire English language as it concerns punctuation. For some reason, people are completely obsessed with putting commas in the middle of a compound predicate. No. You can look at this and know if you did this, it would be wrong. The rain, comma, and wind increased. You would never ever put a comma after the word rain. You can look at that and see that it's wrong. Well, if you wouldn't put it between rain and wind in a compound subject, you would also never put it between jumped and ran and a compound predicate. This is equally wrong, and it looks equally weird as that. I have in fact never seen someone put a comma in the middle of a subject like that. But I see people all the time put that same comma in the predicate. Even in published articles from reputable newspapers online and magazines online, I see this mistake. Not just in the United States. When I read BBC articles, I see this mistake. I don't care what continent you're on, you're still wrong. This is not how the English language works. Alright. Again, you need the brackets to indicate that you have a compound subject. Same thing, except they're facing the opposite direction because it's a predicate. So, and is written this way, instead of this way, because you have a predicate. So you have your brackets, your dotted line, your and, because that's our conjunction. Jumped, because it comes first, is on the top. Ran on the bottom. And then the children, again, capitalize the, because that's where the sentence actually begins. Again, if you have, say, an adverb, let's pretend for a moment that the sentence says quickly. It quickly ran. Then you need to drop the line under ran, because that's where this adverb actually goes. So, do not be afraid to put them inside the brackets or under the brackets. You're right, it really does go there. Alright, so let's look at another example. Let's look at something that has both a compound subject and a compound predicate. Jim and Janet okay, Jim and Janet did what? Indicate you're moving to the predicate. Stopped and stared. Okay, that's great. This is pattern 6. Jim and Janet stopped and stared. You could stop there. You don't have to add more information. But in order to help the listener or reader make better sense of what we're saying, we would probably specify what they were stopping and staring at. In this case, they're staring at a wreck. Here's some typical human behavior for you. Jim and Janet stopped and stared at a wreck. Again, determiners on slanted lines. So yes, you could have a double bracket sentence. Okay, one more example, and that's if you have two adjectives or two adverbs describing the same verb or noun. They were happy but tired campers. Okay. They were. Here's a core part of your sentence. You can tell it's a linking verb. We're going to need more information. They were campers. Okay, that's MP1 to MP1 because they are the campers. To be verb. So you have to have a slanted line. Trying to help you keep track. MP1 equals MP1. They are the campers. They were campers. What kind of campers were they? Well, they were tired. One adjective. And they were happy. That's great. In this case, we actually have the conjunction but. They were tired but happy. So we have to indicate that there are two adjectives here that have been separated by a compound. By a conjunction there. Instead of creating a bracket, you just do a dotted line. And then you write whatever the conjunction is on top of it. They were tired but happy campers. So, adjectives always going on slanted lines, so you can't do this number. Yes, I've seen that before. No. These are adjectives, so they need slanted lines. So in this case, you would, whatever the conjunction is, put it on the dotted line between them. Alright. As always, if it's confusing or you need help, you're not quite sure what to do, contact me, conference with me, get help. It's my job. That's what I'm here for. Please use me as a resource.